Do you want insight into how I keep up with everything happening in the news? Stick around until the end of this video for an important offer from Ground News. Of all the disparate groups with separate and distinct interests, women voters are one particular group that politicians oftentimes court the vote of, really tailor a campaign message for, because it's a powerful block of voters. There are more women in the country than there are men. And oftentimes, in presidential politics especially, white women don't do the right thing. They break for Donald Trump, or conservatives in general. We're not seeing that to be the case as much this election. In fact, there's a movement afoot that women are really signaling that they're not here for the abortion policy of conservatives. That maybe they've acted like that was what their position was because it's just culturally the thing to do when you're a white evangelical Christian. But a lot of that's based on the fact that they never thought it would come to fruition. Now that it's here, now that Roe has been overturned at the behest of Donald Trump after he put his MAGA Supreme Court into place, they're singing a different tune. They're now realizing the dangers that lie before our country for women everywhere going forward. And they've signaled, we're not here for this. Every time there's been a ballot measure across the country, whether it be in Kansas or Ohio or Florida, it breaks for a pro-choice position, invariably, every single time. And the Republican Party, because Donald Trump is their messenger, they're all over the map and they're scrambling right now. And he can't get out of the way. If not for Donald Trump, they might be able to pull this off, but he is just one rapey message after the next. And this is yesterday in a campaign rally where he, even when he's acting like he wants to protect women, it comes across as creepy and threatening and real gross. Watch his promise to protect women, whether they like it or not.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. Pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
That's not the quote you want out there in the final days of a campaign. I'm going to do it whether women like it or not. It's a phrase every woman wants to hear from their octogenarian presidential candidate. I'm going to do it whether women like it or not. There are some women, especially in that audience, who were there for it. He polled the audience, who doesn't want protected, and then silence. Who does want your president to protect you? Cheers. Cool. So, this moment in American politics is being taken advantage of. I got two brief ads. One's about 1:15, one's 30 seconds. The first is the longer of the two, and it deals with this very thing about women voting for Donald Trump, or supposedly voting for Donald Trump, and then voting for Kamala Harris and not letting their husbands know. One is from the Lincoln Project. One is for Vote Common Good. And they're both amazing. And then I'm going to play for you an overreaction, as you would expect, from conservatives across the media landscape. One is Jesse Waters, the dipshit at Fox News, and the other is the Zeppelin-headed twitchy freak, Charlie Kirk. But first, these ads from both. Well, actually, I'll just play them back to back. First is Lincoln Project, and the other was Vote Common Good.
You still voting for him?
Hell yeah.
What about your wife?
She doesn't like him, but she's voting for him.
Same with mine. Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose. You can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Both very different in tone, both getting to the same message. An important message that, look, you may have felt beholden to some loyalty to your husband's vote, but you are a separate individual. You get to make a separate political decision for yourself, for your rights, for your country, for your children, and your husband has nothing to do with it. And this is what's sending conservative media into an apoplectic fit. They cannot handle that a woman can make a decision for herself, that it's not a besmirchment of her family. It's not a undermining her husband, as Charlie Kirk said. It's not D-Day. It's not violating the sanctity of marriage, like Jesse Waters was saying yesterday on Fox News, as he was denigrating those two political ads that you just saw.
And if I found out Emma was going into the voting booth and pulling the lever for Harris, that's the same thing as having an affair. That to me,
oh my God! Let him finish. Go, Jesse. It's our day.
That violates the sanctity of our marriage.
Preach on. Yes.
What else is she keeping from me?
Exactly.
What else has she been lying about?
Why would she lie to you? Have you threatened her? Why would she lie to you?
Oh, they want me to tease.
Why would she do that and then vote Harris? Why would she say she was voting Trump
not the
and then voting Harris? And I caught her. So and then she said, I lied to you for the last 4 years.
So you admit you intimidate
It's over, Emma. That would be D-Day.
That's the same thing as having an affair to vote for Kamala Harris. Again, cool. Real cool. Here is Charlie Kirk on with Megyn Kelly, who's never seen an authoritarian she didn't like. She desperately wants to be protected by Donald Trump. Here he is taking it to really the next insane, expected, and predicted level.
And she needs people to basically lie to their husbands, which they are promoting, by the way, which I find that entire advertising campaign so repulsive. It is so disastrous. It is just like
I'll show it in a minute.
It is the embodiment of the downfall of the American family. I think it's so gross. I think it's so just nauseating where this wife is wearing you'll show it, wearing the American hat. She's coming in with her sweet husband who probably works his tail off to make sure that she can go, and have a nice life and provide for the family. And then she lies to him saying, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. And then she votes for Kamala Harris as her little secret in the voting booth. Kamala Harris and her team believe that there will be millions of women that undermine their husbands and do so in a way that it's not detectable in the polling.
Two things that need to be addressed in that absolutely unhinged screed. and this wife wearing the American hat with her sweet husband, who probably works his tail off, making sure that she can go and, have a nice life. Do women not work and contribute to or just outright provide for their families? Is this 1950 or even pre-1950, pre-World War II, where women en masse entered the workforce? Is this not 2024? Am I not in the right century? Women work, Charlie Kirk. Women provide for their families. Absolutely contribute to the providing for their families and their children and their husbands. And secondly, it undermines their husbands. Voting for a different candidate than the husband undermines the husband. How does the husband voting for Donald Trump not undermine the wife? Why is the man the one to be considered first and foremost? You see, this is the America they want to go back to. They want to make us great again, like we were when the men ruled the household, where the men told the wife who to vote for. It's weird. And to coin his phrase that I'm commonly known for using, it's also gross. While Megyn Kelly there does everything she can, a victim of Donald Trump's misogyny. Remember, she was bleeding from her eyes or wherever after she dared ask a question about Donald Trump's misogynistic, hateful rhetoric against Rosie O'Donnell. But now, because it pays mightily to be a Trump sycophant, she's here for Donald Trump. Anyway, if you've got a friend out there who's a woman who might vote for Kamala Harris and do it in secret, maybe those ads are what they need to see. Some people they get caught up in the tradition of things and they don't think, you know what, I do have a choice here. It is an option for me to vote for Kamala Harris. It is an option for me to vote against draconian abortion policy that will drag us back a century or more. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me as always daily at dollemore.com. Do not forget, live stream on election night. Brittany Page and I will be hosting. It's going to be a good time. You will have a good time. It'll be entertaining and fun. Click the link below to set a reminder where that live stream will be happening right here on YouTube. Follow me on social media. I'd love to hear from you there. I'm at Dollemore, and I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. If Trump is reelected, he has made it clear in this Truth Social post that he is intent upon revenge against anyone who questions him. It's one of the many recent examples of his dangerous authoritarian mindset and his plans for a future where public dissent is not met with debate, but with prison time. As you might guess, few, if any, right-wing outlets are covering news items like this. And if they are, it's someone like belligerent Ben Shapiro boosting for dropout Doug Burgum in North Dakota. Meanwhile, an independent outlet like Mother Jones is calling it what it is: voter suppression as designed by Project 2025. To say nothing of the spectrum of takes on social media platforms like Trump's, they all serve someone's agenda. Where is the best place to get a clear view of the various angles on a story and cut through the noise of social media? Ground News. It's an app and website that gathers the world's news in one place and exposes the bias of every outlet. With Ground News, you can easily compare coverage across the political spectrum to achieve a more coherent understanding of a particular issue. Democracy cannot survive on blind loyalty and echo chambers. It requires independent thought and civil discourse. That is why Ground News is here and what it's all about. Use Ground News to keep informed about the Middle East or to find out more about labor strikes in your area. All kinds of things are covered. Expand your information base. Head to ground.news/Dollemore or just scan my QR code below to score 40% off the very same unlimited access Vantage plan that I use for this show. By signing up, you'll be supporting not one, but two independent platforms working to make media more transparent. Ground News and Dollemore. Unlimit your knowledge with Ground News.